What did the acorn say when it grew up? Gee, I'm a tree. Get it? Geometry. So now we're going to be looking at corresponding angles and sides. And this should be fairly intuitive to you, but before we start, let's review the naming of angles. We've been doing it all along, but there are a couple people that are still having some problems. So first of all, we have the angle symbol. So it's that symbol right there, followed by 3 points, usually. And in fact, it's usually a good idea. So the vertex point is always listed in the middle. And if there's only one obvious angle in the figure, then it can also be named just using the vertex point. So in this example, we're going to write the name for the largest angle in the triangle 3 different ways. Well, which angle is the largest? It's basically going to be, if you look at it, we're going to learn later how to tell for sure that B is the largest, but right now you can probably guess that B is the largest angle. So, as I said, I called it angle B. That is one of the names. Another name is if I go from A to B to C. So that would be ABC. Or I can go backwards, CBA. When naming angles, the order doesn't matter for the 3 points as long as that vertex point is in the middle. So the other thing we're going to be working on is with corresponding angles and corresponding sides. What does corresponding mean? Well, the easiest way I can say it is corresponding means having the same relationship. It matches. So when you're trying to name corresponding angles, you need to figure out which are the ones that match. They need to be in the same position. So if you were able to take that congruent polygon and slide it, rotate it, flip it, and you may have to do that. In fact, I should add, you really should redraw your polygons so that they're in the same orientation. So that means then if you do that, your corresponding angles will be in the same position. So in that case, a corresponding angle would match the other angle. So we're going to list a pair of angles for 2 polygons here, polygon CRHS and GEOM. Now you might think, oh, this is an easy problem. Well, that's because I've already lined everything up. See how C goes with G, because C in the name here goes with G in that name. R goes with E, H goes with O, S goes with M. So if I have them lined up so that they match, that makes this problem a lot easier. Well, I know that C goes with G, R goes with, and so if C goes with G, angle RCS right here, R goes with E, and S goes with M. So the angle is EGM. Now let's try to do angle EOM. By the way, it accidentally said G on your notes. That should be O. So angle EOM, that would be this angle right here. That matches angle H. So I could call it angle H, or I could try to match exactly. And it's a good idea. If I'm doing EOM, you should probably go RHS instead of SHR. Is it the same angle? Yes, it is. But it's good to be consistent in keeping the corresponding vertices matching. So for corresponding sides, they're in the same position in the polygon too if you've already redrawn it, and so it's in the same orientation. Their corresponding sides should be between matching angles. So using our drawing from before, I have the color coding that I did. So I added in the green and the magenta here. And I'm trying to match side SH. Well, S is purple and H is blue. So starting at purple to blue, that would be MO. So SH is congruent to MO. Now you could argue, well, Mrs. Overman, is SH congruent to OM? Yes, it is. But if I'm doing corresponding, let's try to match the direction of the segments. It's not a bad idea. So GM here is yellow to magenta. So that's going to go with CS right there. So for further reflection, what are the different ways to name an angle? Remember, you can just use the vertex, or you can go in any order for naming the angle as long as the vertex is in the middle, using 2 points on the rays or segments. So it's a total of 3 points to name the angle. What strategies are helpful in labeling corresponding angles and sides? Well, since we have congruent polygons, really congruent marks are the way to go. For some of us who are very visually oriented, I really like to use color. So if you have colored pencils or markers, recommend pencils. It's not so permanent in case you change your mind on something.